Varun, everyone. Thank you so much. And hello and namaste. I'm Devina Gupta, and you are with Work Life India on the BBC. We are in a swanky pub in India's Millennium City, Gurugram, that's famous for its stand-up comedy gigs. And we're here with an amazing audience and four very popular comedians and satirists. And as elections rumbles on, we're talking about what is it like to live, work and vote in India. So stay with us because we can promise you a lot of fun and laughter. Now, India is one of the world's fastest growing economies. But when it comes to happiness, it lags behind. The United Nations report on the World Happiness Parameters places India on the 140th position out of 156 countries. But there are a few people who are trying to change that and in turn making lots of money. So we have in the house India's one of the first female comedians and she has a massive following from her cultural jokes and feminism as well. Aditi Mittal, everyone.
Hi.
We also have someone who is journalist in mind, but entertainer at heart. And when you marry the two, you get political satirist Akash Banerjee. Welcome, Akash.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
We also have Rajneesh Kapoor, a man who is very scared of stepping on the stage. But finally, when he got it right in his 40s, he's not turned back since and is throwing political punches. Welcome, Rajneesh.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you so much.
And one of India's very rare and glad to be having her here, a comedian who talks about access and differently able, Shweta Mantri. Thank you for being with us. So let's get this conversation started with Aditi, you first, because your story is very fascinating. You studied in the US. Yeah. Then you did odd jobs, babysitting, bartending, even doing manicure, hopefully not all at the same time.
You know, if you wanted to, if someone was paying me enough, I would have done it.
Really? And coming back to India, that's why I guess. But it was an open mic night that just changed everything for you. Yeah. Did you plan a career in comedy?
There was no way to plan a career in comedy because there was no comedy industry. There was nobody really sort of doing stand-up professionally. And so I went to an open mic and I was like, you know, nobody that I care for is in the audience, so I might as well just speak my mind. And people liked it. It's sort of like, you know, we started off, I don't know if Rajneesh will remember when we first started off, clubs were like, what is this stand-up comedy? What do you people come and do and all? The only payment we got for the longest time was like half a plate of garlic bread.
Really?
And leftover Pepsi from the machine. They were like, ah, khatam hai, like, you know.
If it's over, then you take it,
yeah. And so, yeah, it's been 10 years since I've been doing that. And what a journey it's been from garlic bread, like half a plate to garlic bread to like now I
counting millions?
No,
counting millions?
No, like a full plate of garlic bread.
Oh, that's the progress. But Shweta, you call yourself a woke comedian.
Yes.
Now, what is that?
So I was born with a disability and I walk with crutches. After having faced psychological barriers and physical barriers throughout my life, I chose to talk about them through various mediums. I wrote drama plays, I made short films, and people didn't take well to all of those mediums because people don't like anybody pointing a finger at them. They felt targeted, as a result of which I was targeted for being somebody who was too harsh. So I just stumbled upon stand-up comedy accidentally as a medium to again talk about disability issues and to make people aware of what we think, you know, and of how we are. And it's quite unlike the other mediums that I explored because it's quite subtle. It makes people laugh, but it also leaves a message. It makes people uncomfortable at the end of it. So I get my happiness from that as well.
I hope you're comfortable.
I'm great, thanks.
Great. All right. Rajneesh, on that note, now, help me understand this. You were actually scared of the stage. You walked out of plays. And then you are standing in front of the audience and trying to make them laugh. What changed? What was the turning point?
When she says walked out of the place, doesn't mean I was watching a play and I left. No.
You were part of the play.
I was part of the play. They did rehearsal around me 2 days before the show twice. I said, no way I can go on stage. Are you crazy? Me on stage? No. And they were mad, but I was too scared to face the audience. But stand-up comedy is different. As we were discussing, it's like talking. It's like just, you know, you're talking with a mic, essentially talking to your friends, people you like, and they like you. So stand-up comedy was not scary at all. And also, may I add, when Mittal was doing it for garlic bread, I don't think any of us was doing it for money at all. It was great experience and great learning. You know, even if they didn't give half the plate, we would have done it.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, the guy who actually had money is Akash here, because he was an RJ, vice president of a radio station, and he's been a newscaster before that. But just last year, he gave it all up.
What a
And
fun.
Akash,
Yeah.
was it an easy decision to be an entrepreneur and be a political satirist?
Not the best of things to do at this point of time. But again, the whole half garlic bread equation comes into play here. You don't do this for the half a plate or a full plate. There is something that just drives you and you want to do it. And there is so much to discover. For example, today I have newfound respect for our politicians because I lost my voice today, and these guys are going all around and doing so many rallies, and they don't lose their voice. And I'm just doing one bulletin, and I lost my voice. So newfound respect. There is so much to learn. There is so much to experiment. When she started doing it, again, nobody was doing stand-up. When we started a political satire YouTube channel, nobody was doing it. And now we are getting the recognition. That means the audience is ready. Thank God for that.
Rajesh, let me come to you, because you said right now is the election time. It's like a content factory. But what is it that you focus most on in your acts, and how do you follow politicians all the time? What are they saying? Do you follow and consume media a lot? How do you create that content?
I think all Indians, we just consume so much media. It's either TV or... I get most of my news about politics from WhatsApp groups,
Yeah.
because, you know, those things are really true.
That's interesting. WhatsApp group, and it's really true, okay? And they just started a campaign saying share, joy, not rumors. Go ahead.
And they're so, I don't know, WhatsApp groups are so much fun. You know, because people cannot fight on WhatsApp group because they have to meet those guys. On Twitter, you can fight with a stranger, but there they are polite but angry. So somebody says something about politics, then somebody says, you know, you're barking at the wrong tree. The guy comes back, I just expressed my opinion. Please don't use words like barking.
Oh, God.
I was not barking. There's so much fun happening there.
But Akash, is there also a lot of pressure? Because unlike the comedians here and very respected ones, you actually have to turn around content really fast.
Yeah.
The news could go stale tomorrow.
Yeah. So WhatsApp, again, to the rescue. Where do you get so much of content from? I mean, WhatsApp is a universe of content. I do a small fake news busting show, and we just run out of time because there's so much of material to talk about. So there is fake news busting. Then there are, what does a YouTuber have to do? 10 statements made by XYZ politician, and I have 300,000 hits in 2 days.
And you are doing it on a digital medium. We'll talk more about that and the growth of that. But Aditi, apart from elections, what are the other issues that the audience wants to hear, and how has it changed in the last 10 years?
So when we started out, I think, you know, and as an audience and as a country, we're very repressed, right? And so I think I used to get a lot of, like, people would just be shocked. People would just be shocked if, like, a colorful word slipped out of your mouth. And that would be a laugh. People would be like, oh my God, did she just say, oh my God, oh my God.
And they just start clapping for the sexual content.
Because they're just that excited that somebody said this out loud in public. And that has sort of, and a lot of it is still that. It's just a lot of us wanting to hear things that we've been thinking but haven't said yet. So yeah, and I mean, over the years, I think it's evolved. But then again, with so many of us, we constantly get new audiences. So there is a guarantee that in an audience, there will be at least 3% people who will still be like, oh my God, did she just say that word? Like,
And you're talking about 1.3 billion people.
Yeah,
so one of the
but-
most populous nation in the world.
Correct.
But is there also a subject, Shweta, which was very difficult to talk about on the stage for you?
Yes. So when people perceive differently able people, they don't see beyond the disability tool as such. They don't see them as persons with feelings, emotions, desire. So I found it tough to talk about Tinder experiences, maybe, dating experiences. And the first time, I remember the first few times I talk about my crutch and Tinder and stuff like that, and people are like, did she just say that? You know, disabled girl just say sex.
What about
You know?
your parents' reactions?
So my parents, I have never called my father from a stand-up comedy show,
Really?
and I am so glad he doesn't want to come. Thank you, Papa.
Okay, let's take a quick poll of the audience. How many of you think that Indians take themselves too seriously? A show of hands. More people And I would also say that.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you think, Aditi, Indians take themselves too seriously?
Oh, yes, we do. There's
Why?
a lot to be taken seriously. We're a 70-year-old country in like a relatively sort of young country. We're discovering our feet. We're discovering what our leaders can do for us. And so, you know, and we're sort of we're a sentimental lot, right? So when someone says something that irks us, we then make sure, and we have the time for it.
How many of you here, and you can raise your glass or hand, think that our politicians take themselves too seriously? All right, that's a majority, and on the stage as well. And how do you do that, Akash? Because you walk a very thin line. I know that you've received threats as well for naming political parties and politicians in your show.
So, in radio and in mainstream media, you're taught stay away from religion, politics, and sex. And on online, everything goes, right? Yes, politicians takes them. You know what? I can say a politician is corrupt and he won't mind it. But if I crack a joke on him or I imitate him, then he will mind it. That's a problem in Indian politics. They take it very personally if I'm imitating a person.
Let's talk about working in the sphere in your industries as well. Now, Shweta, when you go and now start performing gigs in pubs, are there any barriers that you face?
I have developed anxiety because so there's this phrase that goes like, the more people I meet, the more I like my dog. So for me, the more public spaces I go to, the more I love my home more. You know, because every space has a different challenge. You know, there is no. I've been performing for around 2 years. There is not one space that is completely accessible. Obviously, I have fallen down a couple of times just before my spotted open mics. I've had to apply ice somewhere and then go on stage, and that does affect my performance definitely. So I would really wish for a more inclusive space in terms of. Let's begin with the physical aspect of it.
Absolutely.
A more inclusive space.
And it also goes on to your mental space because art imitates
Yes.
life. And Aditi, in your experience, because you have a lot of jokes around sexism in your act, have you experienced it in your industry?
Oh my God, like, you know, this is what's, thank you for getting me started.
I had a difficult time keeping a straight face and asking you that when you were like, yeah, like,
Let
just
me
give me
tell
this.
You, okay. You know, I mean, this is a weird question because I remember going out for shows. We didn't have managers and stuff at that point in time. And so people would call us and say, oh, come for a show, come do a show in Calcutta, we'll send you a ticket. And then they send you a ticket and then you go for the show and then they refuse to give you the money.
Oh.
And then you're standing outside and you're like, now I'm in a different city where I don't know anybody at the mercy of this person. And I don't know what to do, and the only thing I have is a ticket, or I might not even have a ticket back home for the next day. And then you can't call up your mom and be like, Mummy, can you come and pick me up in Calcutta? Because she'll be like, excuse me, I told you not to do this stuff. Like, so what was that line between, I mean, coming home at 11 o'clock, my mother's like, why are you going into a pub with notes? And I was like, yeah. She's like, you come back not drunk, which is even worrying for me. Like, she's like, go do something wrong and come so I can shout at you. And so, you know, I mean, the challenges were many. And then, of course, online abuse. It's extensive. It's wide-ranging.
I have tips on that.
Actually, yes, tips, right?
I will give you
All
tips.
right, jump in, Akash.
I say, you abuse me, you're complimenting me. Simple. If I'm making a 10-minute video and you have just one word at the end of it to say to me, then you have nothing else. You have no point, you have no rebuttal, you have just one abuse. A, that's a compliment. B, when I encourage them to abuse, they don't because they know it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't come in a day, but over the years, that's the defense
But let me tell you,
mechanism.
Rajneesh is completely off social media. And is that the reason?
But he's right. That's why I didn't leave the comment on your last video.
Now let's throw open the floor for questions. Any questions in the audience? The lady in the black t-shirt. Go ahead.
Hello, this is Sangeeta. Personally, I'm very shy, but I just want to ask you, where do you get the confidence from?
All right, Aditi, up your alley.
You know, it's in the market right now, confidence, 3 kilo. You know, no, having said that, the number one worry we have when we're feeling shy is, oh my God, what is everyone thinking of me? The funny thing is, everyone is thinking about that themselves. They are thinking, what is everyone thinking about me? So you don't have to worry about what they're thinking about you. They're probably not thinking about you at all. And the second thing is, I think audiences are amazing. I think audiences actually want you to do well.
And Rajneesh, you've
Where do
actually
you
had
get-
that fight in you.
Where do you get confidence from? Sounds like there's a new drug in market. You know, where do you get confidence from?
Hey, kya? Hey, kya? Hey.
When you're bargaining for your favorite show.
No, but the way I overcome was because I wanted this very badly. I wanted to make people laugh. That was the mission. That is the mission. So I don't know, whatever you do, if you want something, you know, there'll be obstructions and there will be things stopping you. But if you really want it, you'll find a way.
All right, Shweta, go ahead.
Yes, it's, at the end of the day, it's you who can stand up for yourself. You know, so if you have something to say and if you think you really are extremely, you can't live without saying that, please go ahead and say it.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you. Any more questions? We have one at the back. The lady in the pink top, please. Yeah.
My name is Khadija, and any one of you can answer my question. I just want to ask you, when you're writing comedy or conceiving your ideas, does it matter? Do you think who is in power?
Who is in power? Do you think who is in power? Rajneesh, you
No, not
shake
at
your
all.
head.
No, not at all. In fact, the fun and the only reason to do joke is on people who are in power. You know, you
Exactly.
don't want to. If some politician is going through bad phase, you know, then it's pointless to mock him. Somebody who is in power, he should be shown. You know, the spotlight should be on him. So it doesn't stop. It shouldn't stop anybody.
We have one more question in the audience from the gentleman in the black checked shirt.
Hi, my name is Wasim. So, all of you, how difficult or different or easy is being a comedian or political satirist in India as compared to the West?
Okay, so do you want to take that, Akash?
Okay, that's a pain point that he touched on. So the first thing that we were warned, and you know, guys like us have got inspired by the Jimmy Kimmels or the Stephen Colberts of the world. Every country has its own limitations. We cannot do the kind of satire that we see in America. We're just making some, you know, first attempts. People have to take themselves less seriously. Politicians have to understand that there is no ulterior motive and nobody's funding these guys.
I know there are more questions. Okay, probably one last. Yes, go ahead.
So Ukraine recently elected a comedian as president. So my question is, have any of you ever thought of taking the plunge?
Did you
Aditi?
guys, president, after comedy, stand-up comedy, Aditi?
Nope. And for the simple reason that no, we cannot. Comedy is good at pointing at problems. It's not good at solving them.
Akash, anything is possible, right?
I can understand that politicians are not doing their job, so comedians are doing their job. But who is going to do the job of the comedians and the satirists? Politicians cannot do that job. We have to stick to our guns and do our job. So that's what we'll do.
But what about you, Shweta? How do you feel about
My
that?
first name is Shweta, which means pure in Hindi. My last name is Mantri, which means minister.
You'll be a pure minister. Let's take this conversation in a more fun way now, since it is about having comedians and satirists here. Let me just ask you, what are these popular myths around comedians and satirists? So I actually did like a random check before the show started with our audience as well, and here are some of them, and you can just say yes or no to that. Comedians are extremely funny, myth number one. They know how to have fun in life. They never have a dull moment. Is that true?
That's true. The myth is true.
That's true.
The myth is true, yes.
The myth is true.
Yes, the
Oh,
myth is
okay.
true.
All right, we have it confirmed from one comedian. Let me ask you the other aspect of being a comedian, because sometimes you have an audience that doesn't react. How do you sort of manage the
You
situation?
mean like today?
Cue to you guys.
No, what happens is, you know, if a joke, if nobody laughs on your joke, that's a great learning for us comics, you know. Then we know something is wrong and we can go back and fix it.
Is there something inherent in your
Sure.
mind? Like, look, I'm a comedian. I need to make people laugh. Something's wrong with me if it doesn't happen. Is
No.
that sort of an anxiety
It's
that
like
you face?
Spider-Man. Once he starts getting, you know, his powers, he's testing them. Sometimes they work. So he wants to get better at that. That's all we're doing. We're learning to get better. Sometimes it happens, you know, but there's no beer at the place maybe, and all the jokes are bad.
Blame
but,
it on the beer. All right, yes, the second myth. It is very difficult to date comedians.
Yes.
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
All right, why the vehement yes, Aditi?
Because I'm a comedian. You know, I think there's an innate desire to impress your partner with a joke, and if you're dating, and like I've dated a comedian in the past, which has just been a horror
Bad
story.
idea. Bad
Really?
idea.
Oh, Rajneesh, you had a different take on this? A similar one?
I also think there's a gender divide also. I think, especially in India, it's difficult for female comics to date because guys cannot handle somebody smarter,
They feel
intelligent.
intimidated.
Yes, Shweta, really?
Yes, yes, extremely. I've had people ghost me because they're like, they just, so every conversation would end like, hey, but please don't use this in your set, okay? Please, like,
Oh my God.
just keep it personal. Don't use,
this one-
don't take this to stage.
This one, excuse me, don't put us in
Don't
your
put us
script,
in your set. Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, you're not that important to me. And then they leave.
All right. Well, comedians can't take a joke on themselves. No, we're good.
Not
Yes,
true.
Shweta, you have
Not
something
true.
to add.
Yes. So as you can see, I am not the typical desirable body type, right? Thank you, Aditi. Yes. So I do talk about that in my set, and I do it because I am talking about myself, right? But so because I do that, people or my colleagues or friends or whoever, they think they can do it as well. So they'll end up saying things to me which offend me and hurt me. And then they're like, hey, but it's a joke, can't you take it? I'm like, you can't body shame me, I'm sorry.
No, that may not be a
yes.
joke. That could be just offensive line. I mean, you know what's happening in India? Insult comedy is just
Yes.
becoming insult. That's not the point. Those could be just bad jokes. Those
I
could
think
be just.
that's a perception that insult comedy is comedy. But
But it is not.
It's not.
All right. Satirists are biased. That's another myth. Is that true, Akash?
I have never said that anybody is not biased. We have built-in biases. The question is, can you enumerate your biases? So I say I'm very biased against bigotry and hate. Then I'm biased against nepotism. Then I'm biased against U-turns in politics. So I have sorted out my biases, and I'm very proud of the biases that I
Man,
have.
isko vote. I mean, I'm going to vote for him. I'm going to vote for him.
Pajama party, pajama party.
So do you think that there is some sort of restriction on expressing dissent?
Oh, of course. Come on. The fact still remains that social media in India is still open. And unless and until there is some big move that is going to remain open, and there the youngsters, and that's where we come in.
But let's now talk about what really matters. That is, how do you observe the society around you? So starting with, say, corporate culture. Rajneesh, how do you observe the people and young people who are working today? What are the trends that you observe?
Oh, with the young ones, look, the good thing is I have crossed 50. So if anybody young is watching, first thing is, first of all, I partied with your moms and dads. Okay. So I recently went for a show and they had a meeting, and somebody said HOD would like to meet you, and I, like an idiot, asked what is HOD.
Oh, we can tell you that. Head of the department.
I know COD. I didn't know. I know cash on delivery. Now I do.
And what about you, Aditi? How much from daily life do you draw inspiration? What kind of incidents that you see around you that you include in your set? Don't say right now, the presenter sitting right next to me. I don't want to be in your material like that.
But like, just walking down the street is an experience for a woman. You meet the guy who's like, shh, shh. You can tell how interested he is depending on the length of the or the volume. Like, I'm amazed sometimes when they're like, hey, shh. I'm like, oh my God, is there a dog? Is there a dog somewhere? Or the ones who are like, arey, baby, baby, baby. I'm like, adopt me. Give me pocket money for the next 6 years. So whatever, those are, and it's just the human experience, the human woman experience of walking down a street in India. And so that's the kind of stuff that
you do. Well, on that note, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for being an enthusiastic audience. And as they say, laughter is the best medicine, so do try and laugh out more. And that's it from the Work Life India team. Thank you for joining us. Do tweet in your comment using #WorkLifeIndia, and we leave you with this